We're talking about how to do virtual wholesaling while you're literally anywhere in the world, not only the United States. Listen, we do thousands of virtual wholesale deals. Why? Because it's virtual. And I want to go in today and deep dive into how you can actually do this without spending money. Everybody thinks you need to spend all this money on leads. And don't get me wrong, we all need leads. But we have to understand how to master marketing to get our wholesale leads. If your entire business is dependent on a third party providing you leads, you're going to have problems. I've been doing wholesaling for 23 years, and I will tell you this. You have to figure out how to master marketing and wholesaling. We are looking for very specific types of sellers. 95% of the market, whatever the number is, that's roughly it, are people we don't really deal with. Those are people that want to sell a house. We need to focus on people who need to sell a house. And if you understand that distinct divide, then you can now go out and target wholesale deals. And this is the technique that I see a lot of people are just overlooking right now. It's the marketing aspect. And specifically on today's live stream, we're talking about how to do it literally without spending a dime. And if you don't believe you can do it, then maybe you should watch this video and let me show you how to do it. Stop buying into the hype where you have to pay for everything. Honestly, when I started out in this business, I was dead broke. I was worse than dead broke. I was weighing over my head in debt, and I had to find ways to dig out of it. Now, do I use paid sources? Yes. I do not rely on them low. And guys, you have to have the ability to find deals with little to no money. A lot of you watching this right now have no money, and I know that. And I'm telling you, if I can do it, if Zach can do it, and I've taught thousands of people to do it all over the country, all over the world, in fact, we're going to eliminate that excuse on you today. So let's just go ahead and dive in. Guys, do me a favor, use the comments and let us know where you're at. Give us a shout out, make a friend here. I'm still over here in LA with Zach. I'm not used to fog, smog, whatever you call it behind me, but it's interesting. We've had a fun trip. We kind of extended our stay to come out here and see friends, do some more business, and see everything California has to offer. So the weather's absolutely amazing here. I love the cool temperatures and the low humidity. LA with the traffic, that's a whole nother story, but we're navigating through it. And pretty much everybody we've ran into California has been like super nice, and we enjoy it out here. But all good things come to an end. Eventually, we will get back there. So let's talk about how we can join in and do this. So first thing, Rick, how do I do this virtual marketing with little to no money? Number one, you have to acknowledge that marketing is your highest skill set as a wholesaler. If you don't believe me, go out and search the internet. The people that do the best in this business, the most successful wholesalers, are the people that go out and craft and figure out how to market. All marketing is a fancy word for connecting with your target audience. Who's our target audience? It's simple. We look for people who need to sell the house off market, direct to seller. Any other avenues, in my opinion, as a beginner, is going to keep you super busy. And you know, if you've heard me before, busy equals broke. If you're busy, you're just doing mechanical stuff to soothe yourself like a pacifier. You're going to have to suck up and do the uncomfortable thing. You're going to have conversations with motivated sellers. And the only way you can make that connection is through marketing. So you have to understand marketing before you outsource it and pay other people to do it. Because if you don't know what your target market is, then you can never train people. You can never have a staff. And if you don't understand it, how is anybody else going to understand it around you? Remember, we are looking for problems. We are running towards problems. Remember, most realtors and most fix and flippers avoid problems like the plague. Remember, the bigger the problems and the more problems you can solve, the more money you make in wholesaling. So how do we do this without spending a dime? You're overthinking this. Can you spend money on marketing? That's always a given. And trust me, everybody in the world on the internet will throw you a way to spend money to find leads. But today we're going to talk about how to do it. So if you understand the mindset of marketing, you must master it. First off, go over to freewholesaling.com. I'm going to put it up on the bottom of the screen. If you are new to wholesaling, or maybe you stepped out, or like you got to go to refresher course, freewholesaling.com. It is bar none the best wholesaling course out there. And here's the good news is it's free. We are the only ones that provide it out there. End of story. We take away all the pain out of it. Just go in there and start it. And what you'll understand when you go there, which our freewholesaling.com is going to be your largest wholesaling school community, is we focus on marketing. Why? Because if you don't figure out the marketing, the rest of what I'm going to teach you is pointless. So if you understand you have to master marketing, let's start with today. And if you can learn how to do it for free and do virtual wholesaling from anywhere you want in the country, you can live right next to your family, be comfortable, even a very price saturated market like San Francisco, New York, LA, Miami, and travel and live where you want, but invest where you make money. That is the key. So I did a live stream yesterday on my channel, on the Rick Ginn channel, and we talked about how to pick the markets and how to do everything, and that will help you if you need to do that. But at this point, we've already assumed you picked a market, and we're going to figure out how do we do this marketing thing. Okay, let me pull it up here. Let me take this off the bottom. We don't have any distractions. We don't want to waste time with this. So the first thing you need to do is one of our latest techniques that we've rolled out. And honestly, in my opinion, you can only learn that. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Well, I'm not going to pull it up because I don't want to waste time doing it. Is email blasting. That's right. I said email blasting. Well, wait a minute, Rick. Do people actually read their emails? Yes, you got to learn how to get through spam folders and everything else. But we have rolled out a course in freewholesaling.com. You can go in there and you can blast up to 30,000 emails a month. Now, it's not all at once. You got to spread it out. It's called our EOG, and it's awesome. In fact, if you go in there right now, take a look at it. There's 4 steps. We walk you through the screenshots, the links, everything to how to do it. Yes, you really need X leads to do it, because I don't know about you, if I have to skip trace 30,000 leads, it's going to cost money. Here's the good news is if you have an X leads account, it's already included. We've taken out the biggest painful part. You got to keep in mind, and I used to pay up to 15, 20 cents for a skip lead. So guys, let me know in the comments who here is paying for skip leads. So if I did 30,000 and just say I paid even 10 cents, that's $3,000. Oh, well, maybe you go on one of these special sites and they'll give it to you for 7 cents. That's still $2,100. No, Rick, wait a minute. I get it for 5 cents. Okay, 5 cents, that's $1,500. You guys understand the benefit of using X leads? If you don't know how to do it, do me a favor, just sign up at freewholesaling.com, go to the EOG section, and it's for the email blast offer generator, and it works. We're getting deals on it. We're having students getting deals on it. And here's the best part. It's 100% free. You guys complain about stuff that you can actually do with no money. It's going to require work. It's going to require effort. In the old days, the biggest obstacle to do an email was, how do I use the software to do an email blast? X leads. And number 2, how can I get free skip tracing? Simple, X leads. Guys, I'm not even selling you anything. I'm trying to make you money. And I don't know any other wholesaling software system where you can incorporate this all in-house and get it done. But X leads have figured it out. Why? Because it's owned by wholesalers that only wholesale. It's what we do. We do it locally. We do a virtual marketing nationally, and we do the JVs with you guys. So if you guys have had success, put it in the comments. Let them know there. Guys, go in there right now and take a look at it. If you have any questions, put it in the comments, and I will answer them as I go along here. But that's 30,000 leads there a month right there. And that is crazy just starting out there. Another thing you can do, and guys, you can incorporate that while you do your driving for dollars, your reverse driving for dollars with the sticky notes, the whole 9 yards. Remember, X leads gives you the ability to not only comp, it has a C-arm built in, it has the ninja mode and the go high level, which is included in your account. Most of you would have to pay separately for this. When I say it's an all-in-one, this is the one that you need to get it done. But we'll talk about that later. So if we do that, the next thing, joint ventures. They are critical if you're going to do virtual wholesaling nationally. Why? Because eventually you're going to get in a market where you find a motivated seller. And when you have a motivated seller, if say a deal drops in Riverside, San Bernardino, Houston, Dallas, it doesn't matter. If you get a great deal, say it's probate. You guys know how much I love probates. My favorite deal to do nationally is probates. It's almost, as long as they're willing to sell the property and they want to cut and move, meaning they'll give up price to conveniently get it sold fast, probates are it. So if I find a probate in Dallas, I find them in Houston, I find a lot in that area, you guys bring me the deal, we verify it, we split it with you 50-50. This is the perfect example of a JV, which stands for joint venture. Why do I do that? Number one, it costs either money, time, and energy to get any type of wholesale deal. Now, if you guys bring us a deal and I connect with you through some sort of social media, guys, this is what we call marketing 101. So since I've been doing this 23 years, I have the skill sets pretty much to close anything. There's not much I haven't heard. And every state's a little bit different. And we navigate through it with each state, each deal. But the universal thing is when you find a motivated seller that needs to sell off market direct to seller, I hit it out of the park in wholesaling. Give me 3 out of 3 and I guarantee you can get a great deal. If I get 2 out of the 3, I have a shot. If I got 1 out of the 3, I'm usually going to waste my time on it. Just every now and then, there's an exception to the rule, but I'm just telling you, if you want to get clarity and you want to find a wholesale deal, ODN, off-market direct seller needs to sell. You hit all 3 of those, usually you're making a lot of money. 2 out of the 3, you got a shot. 1 out of 3, wasting my time. So if we understand that, I like joint ventures. The other part of the joint venture, which is really cool, and you got to understand this, is joint ventures. Remember, my first year and a half of wholesaling, I didn't know how to do dispo at all. And it's not that I didn't want to learn it. I was so hyper-focused on trying to connect with motivated sellers. I spent all my energy, all my training, all my repetitions on dealing with the seller. And I went to sell it. I would find a wholesaler in that market. At the time, I did it locally, even locally. Number one, I didn't have the skill set to sell. Number two, I didn't feel like I had the time. And number three, I just didn't want to put my energy in it because I thought it was easy. Now, people made a lot of money off me my first year and a half. In fact, I made some wholesalers super rich. But the funny thing is, when I figured out how to do it on my own, people were pissed. And I'm okay with that. And Rick, did you use those people? No. It was a joint venture. They got half the deal. The problem is joint venture is sometimes people get super greedy. So here's my recommendation if you're doing a joint venture. Try to find a 50-50 harmonious relationship, meaning either you find the deal and they have local market knowledge to sell it. In my opinion, those are the best synergies you can put together. I don't want to partner up with someone who does not have the local skill set of what the properties are going to sell for and they don't have any cash buyers. There's no value to me if I do that. And vice versa, if I connect with someone who's really good at finding motivated sellers and they don't have any leads, there's no benefit. So the idea is you get a lot of people go, well, he or she wants to do an 80-20 split. Guys, I wouldn't get out of bed for an 80-20 split. Number one, you're disrespecting me. Number two, you think you have the highest skill set when you do it. And number three, why should I run around with my head cut off and see if it's going to work out? You're already telling me that I'm only worth 20%, not even what I consider like a realtor fees. And like, if you find a deal, can you do that? But the problem is you're going to burn a lot of bridges when you do that. We get a lot of people that come to our local markets and go, hey, find me a buyer and I'll give you 10%. I'll give you 20%. I'll give you 25%. No, not going to do it. Not going to waste my time. In a perfect relationship, it's 50-50. Even if the other person does not carry their weight, you get people's trust, you get their buy-in. And remember, a JV is earned deal by deal. If you have a bad business partner, you move on. You don't have to go through a nasty business divorce. You just don't do deals with them. And for God's sakes, please do the paperwork. Make sure you enter into a JV agreement and you give a copy of that to the title company that's handling it. Personally, guys, if it's not 50-50, there should be a reason. Either the other party, maybe they're funding it, maybe you do 60-40, but it becomes a slippery slope when you start negotiating on this. And for God's sakes, if you're selling one of our deals or you're doing it, step up and find cash buyers. Use X leads, get on the phone, do whatever you got to do, dig up property records and find cash buyers, find realtors that have cash buyers and do your part. A lot of people bring us deals and think me and Zach are going to do everything. and you're surprised when we actually ask you to help us show the house, help take pictures, help verify stuff, and help shake up local re-events, local realtors, local title companies to what? Find cash buyers. If we all work together, we get them sold. And when you like to do business with someone, you do it over and over again. And eventually they can potentially maybe be a business partner. But I like to have people earn their keep. The best people I've found in wholesaling is I've always started out with a JV agreement. Why? Because I can test the waters. It's like dating someone before you marry them. Do not overlook this, because if you're going to do this virtually, nationally, you do have to find partners. And the question is, Rick, do I partner with a local wholesaler or do I partner with like a fix and flip? That is a decision you have to make. I like to partner with eager people that hustle, that don't have a lot of money, because they'll tend to go through brick walls for me and Zach. And those are our favorite because they're trying to prove themselves. And what do I tell you guys? To prove yourself in wholesaling, get 5 deals. Why? Because it shows you have the ability of what we call resourcefulness. And resourcefulness is the skill of carrying on no matter what happens. Remember, we are the HR department, the finance department, the sales department, the marketing department, the legal department. We have to solve most of our problems by yourself. In fact, most of you watching this are a solopreneur in wholesaling. It's perfectly fine. It's how I started out the first 7 years. I already told you I did it way too long by myself because I let my ADHD take over. And so I meet a lot of people. I meet people at the event that had it. Listen, ADHD is common. It is not, to me, it's a superpower. It is not a problem for me. You just got to learn how to harvest it. If you have ADHD, you typically can go deep and narrow on like one thing, all in. And if you're going to do that, start it with freewholesaling.com. If we get hit with 7 things and your attention gets sporadic and scattered, it doesn't matter how I got there. Just recognize it and go, okay, listen, I'm going to work on this thing and I'm going to get it done. Or if I see something that seems extremely overwhelming, I'm just going to break it down in bite-sized pieces. And that's all I've really done. I am not an expert in ADHD. I just know that sometimes I can get distracted. And once I recognize it and I understand it, I use my ADHD for my strength. What's my strength? To go deep with people, connect with them, earn their trust. And the downside with that is if you have to deal with multiple people sometimes or multiple tasks, it can be a challenge. And there's plenty of resources to go out there to help you out with it. So if you have that problem, you'll survive, because I'm 55, survived with it. You guys can absolutely do that too. So let's keep going here. The next one. So we know JVs. We talked about email blasting. So I'm going to talk to you about another thing that works really well. And this is a skill set that I know Zach's talked about on the Discord, but I want to kind of share it with you because I'm trying to show you ways where you're going to actually do virtual wholesaling with no money. We can always pay money, guys. That option's always there. But the reality, if you guys need to learn how to be resourceful and get your own leads. So if marketing is the #1 skill set, let me show you how to do X leads outreach. Rick, what do you mean by that? What the heck are you talking about? I think Rick's kind of lost it. It's simple. If you have an X leads account, this is perfect. Here's what I want you to do. Most of you that have an X leads account have the ability to pull at least, even the basic plan, you get 15,000 leads. You have the ability to pull all your government lists, upload them into X leads, and spit out a skip trace. Up to 15,000 every 30 days. Here's the reality is, I don't think you all are using your 15,000 leads. In fact, I think some of you guys are using 3,000 to 5,000. You're letting 10 to 12 go to waste every month. Why? Remember, resourcefulness is the mother of all skills in wholesaling. So why don't you utilize that? If you have a basic account, which is great, it's better than getting an employee. It provides you leads. You can run comps. You get the free skip tracing. It makes perfect sense. So let's utilize the X leads outreach. And what we're going to do is take, if you have 15,000 leads and you're only using 5, be honest with yourself. Take that other 10 and do X leads outreach. What do I mean? It's simple. Go to Zach Discord, go to Wholesaling Houses for Real, go inside the school group and find someone maybe that doesn't have it, and then find that new wholesaler that says, listen, I'm all in. Rick and Zach have convinced me. Maybe somebody else convinced them to do wholesaling. I just don't have any money, but I have the desire. I have the hustle. I want to go from the JV to the varsity wholesaling team. I need 5 deals. If they don't know how to skip trace, they don't know how to talk to people, here's simply what I'm going to do. I said, Johnny, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you 1,000 leads, 1,500, whatever the number you want. And I'm going to give you their names and their phone numbers, and you're going to reach out to them. Now, these might be people on the pre-foreclosure. It might be on the vacancy list that you get inside of X Leads. It doesn't matter. And if that person can rip through 1,000 or 1,500 on their own cell phone, just like this, I'm not providing a dialer. I'm not going to make it super easy for them. If they can pull a lead out of that and say, listen, when you get a lead, bring me in. I'll do a 3-way call. I'll help you close it, do the whole thing, and I'll split it with you 50-50. Guys, you could do this all day long. In fact, I do it with almost everybody who's watching this live stream. The highest skill set you can learn in wholesaling is contacting and locating motivated sellers. How do you do it? You have to do marketing. So we're talking about X Leads outreach. Is what if you could have an army out there to go and do it for you? Now, back in the day, we used to call these bird dogs. And think about what a bird dog is. A bird dog is simply a person or a dog who points out where the target is. And typically, if a hunting dog goes out in the field, it'll point its nose straight and lift its tail up. And it basically tells its owner, hey, there's target prey right here. And they point right at it. That's what a bird dog does. But here's the thing is bird dogs don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to do contracts. They have zero formal training. Bird dogs have one sole job. You ready? To locate motivated sellers. Let me give you an example. The perfect day on bird dogs would be, hey, Rick, I found a guy. He has a probate. I was talking to him at the bar last night. He doesn't know what to do with the property. It's vacant, and he doesn't want to pay the legal fees, but he really needs the money to get it sold. That is the greatest bird dog of all. Now, do I expect that bird dog to be able to have a deep conversation with them, find out all the facts, verify the motivation, verify the condition of the property, and write a wholesale offer? Absolutely not. And some of you guys think that's what bird dogging is about, and it's not. And in the traditional sense, a bird dog would just find a deal, and then they got compensated with a marketing fee. For the most part, everybody wants to do a JV. Now, if a bird dog brings me a monster deal and they help me and their energy's high and they help us get it sold and marketed, I just split the deal with them. I know I could get them for less. But here's the thing is, I'm doing wholesaling as a marathon, not a sprint. A sprinter will try to bleed that new young person dry and give them 20, maybe 15%, not me. I want to reward their actions, teach them some basics in wholesaling on how to locate more people like that and give them the tools to do it. Because am I better off to do 5 deals with that one person and split it 50-50, or do 1 deal and give them 10, 15%? I already know the answer to this. I've already tested it every which way. It's why I don't offer bird dog products, because bird dogs just want to locate and get paid. But every now and then I find a bird dog that will bring me 5 deals plus. How do I get them to do it? I just split it with them. It's simple. Sometimes we have to flip-flop a little bit due to funding and stuff like that. We have to get rid of a tenant or a bad owner. But for the most part, if we do an assignment agreement, it's 50-50. Why do we do 50-50? Guys, listen to me. Some of you guys are in marriages watching this. Some of you guys have business partners. A relationship is usually 50-50. Once you decide it's 51-49, it means one has more power than the other. Now, keep in mind, I know a lot more information than most bird dogs I work with, actually all of them, but I treat them with the respect as a business partner, a temporary partner, because I want to incentivize them to bring back more deals. How do I do that? I go into X Leads and I keep pulling. Now, let me show you a little fact on this. Some of you guys have an account from the basic account. You get 15,000 leads, more than enough. And if you're harvesting 15,000, you're working, you're getting deals, then just stick with it. Keep in mind, those of you that have up to the X plan, the max version with the full dispo and everything, you have 60,000 leads. You have to use X Leads outreach. In fact, I'm telling you, this is the best way to do it. 60,000. So unless you're feeding your entire staff, which by the way, you can always get more leads, just reach out to us. It's, if you're using say 30,000, then you basically have what? You have another 30,000 to give out. Guys, use this. There are people that will rip through these lists. I know how much energy and effort it takes to cold call. If you could give someone, say, 5,000 skip traces and call on a specialized list, and they produced 5 leads for you, it's well worth your time to split it with them. But Rick, I provided the marketing. Who cares? Stop trying to beat up your bird dogs. I don't know who's taught this in the business, but you offer a bird dog 10, 15%, I promise you they're not going to help you get the deal done. And anything, they might sabotage it. And it'll typically be a problem at closing. Why? Because I see it all the time. Because people make me these offers and I refuse to take them. Our company does. And then they're always calling me, hey, it's going to fall out of contract. I'm not looking to snipe anyone's deal, but like I'm not going to waste. I don't want to get paid $500 to find a solid cash buyer that will close on it within a week. And at the end, they get desperate. They go, oh, I'll do 40 or 50%. I go, I have no time to market it. So guys, bird dogs through the X Leads Outreach program, phenomenal. If you only have 15,000 leads, you're using 10, harvest 5 and get on social media. Go to Zach Discord, Wholesaling Houses for Real. Go inside our school group, freewholesaling.com, and just go crazy with it and find people. Now, keep in mind, if I have your effectiveness on bird dogs is going to be well under 10%. So if you find someone who says, oh, Rick, I'll do anything. I'll walk through a firewall. All you want to do is teach them the skill set to locate, not take down, not to do deep conversations, just get the basic facts. And all they have to do is build rapport. That's easy to do. But keep in mind, I don't want them writing contracts. I don't want them negotiating. And I definitely don't want them giving out a number because most of them have no idea. So I extrapolate all that information. And here's a little secret with any bird dog or JV partner you're working with. Include them in on what's going on. Update them on the file. Give them notes in your CRM. Inside of X Leads, you have the ability to share your lead with that JV partner. You know how powerful that is? I don't want to call them every 3 seconds, but a lot of JV partners, especially new ones, will call our office on a multiple times per day. Why? Because they're eager, they're excited. Number 2, they love working with us. And number 3, they want to make sure they're going to get paid. So we do all the paperwork, we send it over to the title company, and we move forward. Guys, the X Leads Outreach is amazing. Some of you guys are not utilizing it, especially you X-Plan members. If you're harvesting 60,000 leads, you either got a bigger team, or if you're only using half of those, why don't you reach out and find people on social media to call? Now, the thing is, if I have a newbie, don't give them 10,000 leads. Test them out. Give them 500, give them 1,000. That's usually the minimum amount, and find out if they're going to do it. A lot of times, don't get upset, but if I give someone 1,500 leads, maybe a government list or whatever it is, sometimes they just ghost you. A lot of times, these JV partners or / bird dogs, they want to talk about it, but no, they don't want to do the work. We have the same problem with wholesalers. So be careful when you do the X Leads Outreach, because I'm only going to give them between 500 and 1,000 increments because I don't want to waste my time. And the reality is, if I give someone 1,000 leads, if they do nothing with it, just take those leads back and give it to somebody else. Go, oh, no, she already went through 1,000 leads. I promise you, they maybe 50 calls and you're said and done. So make sure you utilize that. The next one, guys, you have to understand is, I'm going to go through some ones you don't always think of. Digital bandit sites. Like there's no cost on this. And most of you think, oh, I've got to do a formal Facebook ad and stuff. I'm telling you, you don't have to do this. You can do it. It's just going to cost you money. All these PPC companies, stuff like that, they're going to tell you, hey, I'm going to run a Google account for you to run SEO, or I'm going to run like a Facebook. Let me just save you the energy. Number 1, you have to do it nationally. Number 2, it's terribly expensive. Number 3, if you don't know how to talk the game, it's going to put a lot of pressure on you. So how do I counteract that? Digital bandit signs. So think of the physical bandit signs that I started out doing, Zach started out doing, and we just get a response. We just take that same mentality and we do it digitally online. Oh, don't you have to pay for ads? Guys, that's what you all think. That's what you subscribe to. The reality is you can run whatever you want. How do you get traction on that ad without paying for it? It's simple. Just find all the people doing their PPCs, their SEOs, their PPLs. And a lot of times, here's how it works. This company has reached out to me and says they can just load me up with wholesaling leads. All I have to do is run this particular Facebook ad, this Instagram, or a Google. And guys, here's simply how you do it. When they run those ads, the problem is they're not handling it. They don't really understand marketing. They come up with a budget. They could pay someone 10, 15 grand, and they spend $5 grand a month on advertising. Now, I got nothing against advertising, but the problem is until you figure out how to do this for free, you shouldn't be paying for advertising. So I can basically, and here's what happens, every one of them is they send the money and they set it and forget it, and they think leads just pour in. Well, there's this little thing on most advertising where you can put comments. The reason why comments are so important, it tells you if it's authentic and real. If any advertiser shuts off comments, most consumers could be selling a house or buying a product. They assume they're hiding something. So if you don't have the ability to comment, usually the ad's not very effective. So they want you to leave the comment section on. Here's the problem is the wholesaler's not going to answer the comment because they don't even have control of the account because they're going through a third party. And the person that's managing the account saying the wholesaler decided he wasn't going to pay me to deal with the comments. And number two, they don't even know how to answer the comments. So you get a lot of questions in the comments. This is where you slide in on the bandit signs. Oh, Rick, is that legal or ethical? It's 100% legal. Ethical? Maybe someone shouldn't be paying 10, 15 grand to run an ad that they're not even going to manage. People want quicker responses when they deal with it. Now, whenever there's an ad online, there's usually multiple ways to contact people. Number one, they click a link and they fill out a landing page form. Number two, they reach out and call a phone number. Or number three, which is the most common, they put a comment in under the ad. When they put a comment in there, that's when you say, listen, we respond quickly. Can I get your information? I call you. I can get you an offer right now. On the average online lead through Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff, I've seen these pages go 70, 80 comments and nobody responds to it. These are all leads, and whoever gets to the lead first wins. A lot of you have been taught the only way to get a good lead is pay for it. Guys, I'm here to tell you, you have to be resourceful in wholesaling. People put comments on these, and people leave smoking leads in their $15,000 advertisement. If you want to be sharp, you want to be quick, you want to be witty, do the bandit. Do the digital bandit signs. It works. Someone goes, well, Rick, isn't that illegal? What's illegal about it? It's a comment. You can do whatever you want. They have the ability to shut the comments off at any time, or they can respond to them. I choose to be the quicker of the method. So which one do you want to? Want to pay 15 grand, or you want to do the digital bandit signs? You can eventually do the ads. You're going to find out you're not going to get. There's a reason we don't do Facebook ads. They just don't convert in wholesaling. Argue it till you turn blue. Can you get lucky in certain markets? Absolutely. The biggest problem with Facebook ads, in my opinion, from what the data I've paid for, is there's no real urgency to sell. And if a lead on the realtor side, because I've ran an entire real estate agency, the conversion cycle for just a realtor lead, someone who wants to sell their house, is 12 to 18 months. When it comes to wholesaling, you almost have to double that. Do you really want to chase a lead down for 3 years that just wants to sell their property? And that's the problem. People don't go to Facebook to sell their property. They go to socialize. Can you get traffic from it? You can. And the problem with most of these online ads, particularly Facebook, is they tell you, because Facebook's for us older guys, like you don't see as much on Instagram and stuff, is, well, the cost per lead's so cheap. If the lead's free and you don't get a deal from it, the amount of time and energy it's going to cost you is just wasting your time. So guys, digital bandit signs work really, really well. To add on that, you can do bandit comments. And so a bandit sign is you could use a graphic representation. So say if I'm like a Georgia Bulldogs fans, you can cut and paste and put the Georgia Bulldog logo in front of you, the dog saying, we buy houses, whatever you want to do. And you go, Rick, I need a graphic coordinator to do that. No, listen, go in the chat GPT, go in the Grok. It will handle the whole thing for you. Just play around with it. And once you have it, have fun with it. But guys, the bandit comments is just putting comments on people that comment under these paid advertisements. And the more you post, the more traction you get. And the thing is, when people do anything online, especially any type of wholesale lead, it is all about the speed of a response. So one of the problems with PPL, when you run it, whenever you get a message or a lead comes in, whoever responds to them first usually wins, period. If 5 people respond to them, whoever connect them on the first that understands and how to connect with people usually makes the most money. The problem with Facebook, it's literally instant. If somebody inquires you, if you do not respond in 2 to 5 minutes, you're done. And that's the other part I don't like about Facebook. But the comments, They're absolutely golden. People put their address, they put their contact information. You can reverse engineer. I will chase every one of those leads down to the end of the earth. Once again, is it legal? Yes. Is it ethical? Yes. It's guys, all's fair in wholesaling. I'm not going behind anyone's back. If you're going to put something out on the internet and you don't know how to manage it, you don't understand it, and you don't understand there's people like me that do what we call guerrilla marketing. What's guerrilla marketing? It's doing marketing that seems very big and powerful, but you're doing it on a tiny, if almost a no budget. And that's what we're talking about today. So let me check comments. Want to get through the rest of the stuff? Okay, I'll mark that. We'll come back to it. Okay. I'll answer questions. We're almost done here. So the next part of this is we talked about X leads, the best way to do it. And so let's go through some stuff, you guys. And if I'm going to do this virtually, you are only bound by what your computer and your phone can reach out to you. So what you can do today with technology, I couldn't do back in 2003 because there was no way to connect it. With the World Wide Web, you can do anything you want. So let's check it out. Property management companies. You guys, every city, every county, every zip code has one of these. What is it? All that they are realtors and brokers that use leasing and rentals as a lead stream. Why? Why do they want to do that? Because a lot of people want to buy their properties as an investment and they want to put a tenant in there and they don't want to deal with the tenant. So on average, they'll pay about a 10% management fee and then somebody screens the applicants and do all this stuff. I like to target companies that have at least 500 rentals because on average, about 2 to 3% of those rentals are making no money or they have a problematic landlord. There's a lot of cheap landlords go to property management company. I know it sounds ironic, but the property manager constantly tells them, you need to paint the place, you need to do the flooring, you need to put a roofing. They're like, no, let it ride. You know why? Because they're hands off. They don't see the property, they don't hear the problems, they don't see the pictures. And even if the property manager sends them pictures, it's problematic. And I found this out by accident. I used to go in and simply, sometimes you have bad landlords that are just cheap. And it's hard for the property management to rent them. And the property managers get frustrated because if they would just fix the property up, it would rent overnight, but the landlord's cheap. And then sometimes you get bad tenants that are problematic. They trash the property. And the reality is if you get bad tenants and you get bad landlords, this is where wholesalers come in and fix it. So on average, 2 to 3% of their portfolio. So if they have 500 properties, say 3%, on average, about 15 of those properties, they're vacant, they're problematic, they can't rent. And the sales staff is driving themselves nuts because they go, I can't rent it. And the only way I can rent it is discount. So if something's renting for $3,000 because it's such bad shape, I can only get $1,500 and they expect me to do a miracle. I'm not a miracle worker. So I tell them, do you have any vacant properties or problem properties you need to get sold now? And in return, what I'll do is pay you your full commission. Every time I've done it, they go, we got these 2 properties. They're owned by this guy. He's very difficult. If you can get through him, as long as you pay me my commission, I would love to get rid of this property out of my portfolio. Boom. Guys, you can go town to town to do this. This is where you can hire a VA. Eventually, we'll have AI help you out with this. But if 2 to 3% of every one of these property management companies have properties, they all do. I promise you, there's properties sitting in that portfolio that are vacant, that either the landlord's a massive problem because he or she's super cheap, and they're so disconnected from the property, they don't want to look at it, they can't smell it, they can't see it, or they just keep getting problematic tenants due to the area. If you get a combination of both of them, this is great. Now, here's the best part is, you don't have to spend a lot of energy to do it. If you could do this in person, it'd be better, but I've done this on the phone and it works. It takes an incredible amount of energy, but remember, we are looking for what? People that need to sell their house. I'm not gonna waste my time with people that just want to sell their house. Property management companies. Rick, I'm doing this virtually. How do you expect me to do it? Dude, pick up the phone and call them. Just Google it in there, find them, find the rental department, and just try to make a friend. And don't try to take it down in one shot. Remember, if you're calling to make a sales call, you're wasting your time. Why? Because when people call me every day, I don't know why everybody decides to call me at 5 a.m. in the morning while I'm in LA. I get it. There's a time difference. And they start out with the script. They mispronounce my name. And then they just, I can't even understand what they're saying. I already know they're giving me a sales call. Do you think I'm going to give them the time of day? I'm super nice to people because it's just who I am. But like, if you're starting out and all you want to do is take from me, then we're not going to have a good relationship. Because I've been taught to connect with people and get the best out of people. You have to provide value first. Hey, how can I help you out? So remember, when you call companies like this, which we're going to go through several others, you have to go with a leading hand to help people out first. If you go, hey, give me all your cash buyers, give me all your properties, give me your tired and weak stuff, I'll buy it. They're just going to hang up on you. So number one, get past stranger danger. Number two, connect with them. Get personal with these people. And number three, show them how it's going to benefit them time-wise and financially if they sell those problematic properties. And go, listen, I can't buy them all, but the ones that need help, those are the ones I specialize. Because even then when they list the property, they know they're going to go through quite a journey to sell it, because a lot of those properties that we described, the 2 to 3%, are not ready for MLS, and they need an investor like us. No, we're not going to do an ovation. You're just going to go in and you're going to buy it at a wholesale price. And remember, it's going to take 2 or 3 times to connect with them. Please don't be that guy or gal that just calls and goes, hey, give me your most tired, weak properties because I want to make a fortune off of you. You're going to get hung up on. Provide them value first, and you can get anything you want in wholesaling. If you come to people like me and Zach, provide value, and you're going to get it. You usually get it back tenfold. Period. I don't have a coaching program, guys. I don't like kiss up the people. I don't have to do what most of the people have to do. So the idea is, even when I meet with people, when we did our event there in Riverside, is I'm like, how can I help you grow your business? What can we do to make you more effective? Show me your marketing plan. Show me what you did yesterday. Show me what you did the week before. Let's push the needle. Let's stop talking about wholesaling. The reality is, most people want to talk about wholesaling. I love the people that actually do wholesaling. And my biggest filter is to find out what you did today, what you did yesterday, what you did the week before. Because once I know that, I know what your game plan is. And if you don't have a game plan, which is 90% of wholesalers, how do you plan on being an effective virtual wholesaler? You have to have a plan. A lot of people go, oh, I want to spend the day with you and Zach. It's brutally boring, because I do the exact same thing every day, other than when we go out and travel and go to beautiful cities like this, because we have the ability to do this through virtual wholesaling. I did not have this ability really my first 7 years of wholesaling, because number one, I was just trying to figure out how to talk to people, try to do the entire business, and my ADHD took over and I tried to control everything. And I eventually learned how to bring people in my business. So my whole goal here, doing live streams like that, is teach you don't have to do everything yourself. In the beginning, you do. I don't even hide it from you. You have to do it, and don't think there's going to be a miracle cure. You're going to have to go out there. You're going to have to make calls. So start with that. Now, which leads me to the next one. Title companies. Guys, this is non-negotiable. Title companies are the backbone of every wholesaler's operation. And if you're new and you're starting out, which most of you are, your basic pseudo partner when you first start this journey of wholesaling is title companies. Why? They know every seller. They've seen every type of transaction. They know the exact type of paperwork. And remember, your job is to what? Locate the motivated seller that needs to sell their property direct to them, that's off market. And then you bring back problems to the title company. And the title company go, hey, get her to sign this, or tell her to reach out to her Uncle Joe. They did a quick claim deed. We need to fix it. I love this stuff. And honestly, once I figured this out, it really put me at ease as a wholesaler. They helped me do the assignment of contracts. They spoke my wholesaling language. You have to do this all in advance. But that's just the basic operations of wholesaling. The real reasons why you want to reach out to title companies is the twofold. The one I just told you there, and the number two, they know everybody. They know every closer. They know every cash person. They know who's for real. And they will tell you, I would stay away from that guy or girl. Or, that guy's legit. He's done 2,000 deals. In fact, more people call my title companies to try to verify everything I do. And they understand They go, Rick, 5 people called about to inquire about your business. And they understand we keep everything private because I have a huge database of realtors, cash buyers. I mean, everybody. I know everybody who moves a property in my area. Why? Because I've been doing it 23 years. And now nationally, I'm learning who the real big buyers are. And the fact is, you can do this business from anywhere. So title companies will supply you major information. But once again, you can't go in and just run the title company over. You're going to have to establish a relationship. I like to work with small title companies. Why? Because the big chain ones, it's the same thing over and over. They're telling them, stay away from wholesalers, they're problems. Guys, you have the ability to legally assign a contract within the United States Constitution. It is a federal right. I'm not scared by any state who wants to restrict that. You do have to pay attention. I'm not telling you to ignore it, but I wouldn't freeze. Like, the reality is, if I drive down the road, there's 2 double yellow lines. I just have to trust the other person's not going to go over it. And that's what we basically have to do with wholesaling. If you are so worried you're going to get nailed with something, then don't do this business, get out of it. But there's rules and regulations to everything. Most of the anti-wholesaling legislation is just around the marketing part. So number 1, read your law. Don't read it. Stop taking people's word for it. This is how the media pretty much sways you. And number 2, talk to your title company. And number 3, if you're still concerned or you're confused, you want clarity, talk to a real estate lawyer, hopefully tied to the title company, and get clarity on it. I am not a lawyer. Zach is not a lawyer. But for God's sakes, don't let someone throw a lawyer in front of you. Like, I can get 10 lawyers. I can get you 10 different answers. That's why 50% of lawyers are wrong every day. So when it comes to wholesaling, you've got to get the facts. Title company helps you every one of those things I solved. And to be honest with you, title companies constantly fill me in on deals that's fallen apart, especially in today's market where people are skitty with interest rates. People are skitty with how the market is. They're my favorite because, well, Rick, if it fell out, do you really want to take that deal over? I go, no. When it falls out, I'm going to renegotiate it because a lot of title companies go, Rick, she's at the closing table. She's got a moving van. She needs a cash offer. I go, listen, I can make an offer, but I couldn't make that original offer. That's why I didn't take it because it doesn't work for me. Here's the offer. It's good. We can close it in 24 hours. And I have the ability to do that. I do it all the time because my title company believes in me. They trust me and they know exactly what I do. I earned my time with them. So start out with your title companies. And yes, you should have more than one title company because they have the pulse. Being with a title company is like getting sometimes 20, 30 years of data in one shot. Extremely valuable in wholesaling. I work with my title companies. I like the small ones. I like to have one person in charge of everything, and I let them handle all notary functions, all mobile closings. And yes, when you do this business nationally, you're going to have to find multiple title companies, particularly they are licensed in each individual state. My recommendation is always stay neutral of the title company. Why? Because if there's ever a problem and you handle the notary or like you got this signed, you didn't do it, you're going to have a problem with it. You have to be completely independent. I don't really believe in, I will always keep my title company separate. I don't want any type of ownership, anything to do with it, because I believe that does create a liability because when you have ownership and stuff, you are responsible if anything goes wrong. You're going to have, what's the word? If you own something, you tend to drive the ship. So however you want to do it, I always stay neutral, especially doing this virtually nationally, because I need to get their instructions. So if anything ever comes back, I follow the instructions of the licensed and insured title company. You can't pressure a title company to do things to make them uncomfortable. You guys have seen recent developments across the country, and it's always the same thing. It's some big investor that forced their title company to do something they weren't completely comfortable with. And I've seen this over the 20 plus years of wholesaling. When my title company says, hey, you can't do it, I always ask why. I go, hey, is there a way we can do it? And sometimes you just can't do it. Because they're trying to save you from trouble. And you want to understand this when you do it. So title companies are wildly valuable. So let's talk about social media, which is one of the big reasons most of you guys are here. Social media is huge, especially if you're going to do virtual wholesaling. And you got to find the avenues. How can I connect with people through social media and make this work? And that's really, really simple. I'm going to go through just a quick list of how you can do this on social media because we've already touched on a lot of these things. So I don't want to waste time. because I want to get to you guys' questions. So the first one, freewholesaling.com, the largest school wholesaling community group. There's a reason for it. Oh, Rick, you guys don't charge for it. That's right. I know it is just a revolutionary idea, but it's been going on over 4 years, and we know it works. Why? Because I give you all the tools to be successful in wholesaling. Here's the one piece every one of you are missing. Are you going to take the action? Are you actually going to do what you say you're going to do? I can't make you do it. In fact, I know a lot of people that go there, they won't do it. They'll just explore, they'll entertain it, they'll try it for 30 days, and then they quit. I know this in the business. Me and Zach are trying to fix this in the wholesaling business. I could easily sell you a $5,000 or $10,000 program, but I know most of you are going to fail. Why? It's not that the information's bad. I don't even fault other people that sell it. The reality is we oversold how easy it is, and we all talk about like regulating this business. This is the last thing we need. The reality is if everybody was just transparent in the courses they sold, what's the price, how many students you have, what's your success rate, which you're never going to get that information. Most of you would never touch these products. I just take it away from you. I go, what if we take that all away from you and get rid of your biggest excuse, which is money? And when I pull that excuse away from you, and you realize you have to go through the journey of wholesaling. If you pay somebody $100 grand and you get it for free, you have to own it with us. And that's my favorite part of what I do it. So go to freewholesaling.com, register there. We have an entire community. We have the largest wholesaling community, period, because we only talk about wholesaling. I don't talk about things to distract you and kill time. It would be super easy. I go a little bit off on ADHD, but that's, my ADHD, and you guys understand that. So go in there and get familiar with it. Plus, you can actually learn the business and get a focus on how to market to find motivated sellers. That's the best way to do it. The next one, real easy, Zach Discord. For the longest time, Zach, the Discord has always been a pay-for-play community. So we decided to go in there and just remove the stigma. I have no problem with the people Discord because this is like people, a lot of them are anywhere from $20 to like $50 a month. Me and Zach just make it super simple. We make it free for you. I'm not going to make enough money to even make it worth my time to do that. And number two, I'm more interested in doing the deals with you than getting the coaching fees, period. If I get 100 people in the Discord and I get 5 or 7 to take action, and by the way, the Discord's the #1 place you can do the X Leads outreach program, hands down. Hey, I've got 1,000 leads for you. Go nuts with it. Call me back by Friday. Let me know if we're doing a deal together. And if you get a live one, you get someone that's motivated, 3-way call me, click this button, you can do it. Now, people in Zach Discord are very advanced. It's a little bit challenging for me in there because it comes at you fast. Video, audio, graphics, pictures, you name it. People can jump into groups. You can segment it out. I actually love it. I used to kind of make fun of it, and now I see it. It is a more advanced, modern social media. And if you don't believe me, go in there. There's no cost to it. And when we do these lives on Friday nights, they are special. And the thing is, you guys share is one of my favorite places to do JV deals. We get more JV deals from Zach Discord. Obviously, if you want to sit a deal, you can do it through sellmypaper.com. But I'm telling you, it works really, really well. Now, while we do that, guys, you have to understand this. You are not limited to just basic technology in everything we do. You have to understand how this works. So if I can go online and get all this information on social media, I can pull cash buyers. I can get on cash buyers lists so I can reverse engineer any wholesaling. I talked about that yesterday on my Rick Ginn channel, and it works really well. Then why not? Why not just go on and do our most favorite government list? Yes, you can do government lists nationally as a virtual wholesaling. Now, can you get every one of them? No. I never said you're going to get every one of them. And when you get resistance on any of these lists, you overcome it with persistence, period. You do not get it by running people over and being nasty to them. You have to do the opposite. You have to find a way to help that employee help themselves by either getting a supervisor or connecting with them personally by the same skill sets as I teach you on how to connect with a motivated seller. It's the exact same. Oh my God, look at your dog. People like to be complimented. People like to talk about themselves. It's just natural. You don't even have to think about it. Just let them talk about themselves and you'll get a much more helpful person. Remember, these are regular people in their community just like you and me. So guys, government lists, when you do national wholesaling virtually, you can get these lists. Is it harder? Yes. I don't hide that from anyone. But what are the lists we need to get? Real simple, guys. Let's go with it. Probates, if you can get these nationally, please do it. And honestly, if you get a probate and you have a deal, even if you don't have a contract, reach out to me at ZachSellMyPaper.com. We would love to work with you. These are my favorite deals. And honestly, they have the highest success rate. Some of them do take time. Why are probates so profitable in wholesaling? Number one, if you're brand new to wholesaling, don't be scared of them. They're perfect. It's just when somebody passes away, they go through the legal process of transferring a title, because a dead person cannot sign a deed. They can't sign a title. That would go with a car, with a boat, with a house, or any type of financial institution where you own stocks, bonds, or like a checking or savings account. Now, that's the good news. So why can't you do probates? And here's the best part. A lot of you just look to do probates in your backyard. What if you could do it nationally? The challenge nationally is you can't go to the courthouse for obvious reasons. You might be on the other side of the country, but simply what you can do is find to get online access. Now, some counties, unfortunately, they try to profit off this. Honestly, I think some of them charge a fee to try to discourage people. There are people that are going to try to sell you all this probate information. Do not buy into it. I've been doing probates for a long time, and I'm telling you right now, I've never gotten a deal through a probate service. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars. It's all dated information, and it's old. You're better off getting it yourself. So if I'm doing a virtual wholesaling nationally, anywhere, find somewhere to do probates, period. So if you can't get it in one county, go to another county, find one. There's over 3,200 counties in this entire country. Find one where you can get it. If you can get them and you figure out how to read them, and remember, if you want to figure out probates, talk to somebody in the probate court and have them walk you through it. Is it more challenging doing it virtually? Absolutely. I don't hide it from you. But you're special. You chose wholesaling. You're going to not run away from problems. You're going to actually run towards them, and you're going to figure out how to solve them and attack them. That's the uncomfortable part of wholesaling. Everything I'm teaching you is completely doable. The question is, will you get out of your comfort zone to actually go out and do it? Nobody's going to hurt you, especially on the phone. Come on. Next one I'm going to get. Pre-foreclosures. Hands down, I want to get pre-foreclosures. I want to figure out how to get this thing going. And why pre-foreclosures? Those are people that need to sell their house. The key with pre-foreclosures is to do them early. Catch them early. Rick, what's early? I like them 4 months from the start of a pre-foreclosure up to 4 months, maybe 6 months. But once they get like a year behind, say they had a $2,000 payment, plus you add the attorney's fees, the equity gets eaten out, it gets stripped out of there. And once the money gets diminished, there's not a lot of money to incentivize the seller to sell you the property, especially at a discount. And honestly, they'll call you 30 days before or even a day before the foreclosure auction to take your offer. And a lot of times you can't do it. It requires legal help, and a new wholesaler is not really skilled. And the last thing I want you guys to do is pay a lawyer. And that's why the sooner you catch somebody in a pre-foreclosure situation, the pre is just everything that happens before the foreclosure. The final auction date is the foreclosure. And so who owns the property up to the auction? The homeowner does. You will get to the lead faster by dealing directly to the owner, because you're direct to the owner. It's off market and they need to sell. Hits all three. Now, does every seller see this? No. And I've learned that the later you go in pre-foreclosure and you get closer to foreclosure, the procrastination just gets overwhelming. And they're like, yeah, nothing's happened. They haven't foreclosed in a year, and I don't pay rent. I don't pay a mortgage. Like, this is a great deal. What they don't understand is eventually they're going to get kicked out. They're going to be asked to let. Depends on what part of the country you're in. We're not going to get the details on it. But guys, obviously people in pre-foreclosure, in my opinion, these are the easiest ones to pull online, and you should make it part of your rotation. The other one's going to be tax delinquencies. These are people that just get behind on their property taxes. Here's the good news. Inside of X-Leads, you can pull this. You can find people that are 36 months or later on their tax deeds. I like to find people at least 2 years behind. 1 year behind is a waste of time. And make sure you filter out by average median price, because rich people use property taxes to handle their own finances. That's right. I have well over a six-figure property tax bill that I don't pay until I have to, because I float money from deals to that. And I've learned it's not that big of a deal to pay a 2% penalty, because if I got to float a couple $100,000, it's no big deal. And I know I got more money coming in. So I'm going to wait. Maybe I have a higher and better use for my money. Well, you want to find people at least 2 years behind on their property taxes. Why? Because if your property taxes were $4,000 this year, and then you've got all the interest and penalties, so the next year it's $5,000, you're $9,000 behind. Odds are you're probably behind on your mortgage too. And once you get multiple motivation factors, these are people you want to contact. The really cool part is X leads. It puts a tag on each one of them. So if I see a lead that's in pre-foreclosure, that's behind on their tax delinquency, it'll have tax delinquency tag. It just goes on and on. The more tags I see, the more distress the property is in, which really means they're going to have to sell the property. The question is, who are they going to sell it to you? Whoever reaches out to that lead and connects with them first is going to win, and that's what we're teaching to do it. The other online list I want you to do are the eviction list. Once again, this is a court proceeding, and this should be 100% free. I didn't say it's going to be easy to get, but the eviction lists are basically landlords that have to kick tenants out that basically are not paying the rent, or they've trashed the property, or they've done a combo of both. And I find when they get into a legal proceeding, there's no cash flow coming in, the property needs rehab. This is usually the sweet spot they're going to sell it. Now, I like to find ones with 4 or less properties, because they are your average investor and they thought they were buying a passive piece of investing, and they find out that renting out properties is anything but passive. It is 100% active, and tenants talk back to you, stocks don't. And that's why people have such a problem investing in real estate, because they don't realize there's a human being behind it. And then if you're in like the wonderful state of California, your eviction laws here are nuts. And then I go over to Florida and I kick anybody out basically in 21 days. Why? We have to keep an eye on all that. But like, as long as there's eviction list, you have opportunities, because I've had plenty of properties on these eviction lists, and I've even sold to other investors because I just didn't want to deal with the project of the property. I didn't like the history of it, and the returns didn't work out the way I thought it was. So if I think that way, think of how many other wholesalers and investors think that same way. And here's a little tip. If you find properties where people own it in their personal name, they usually don't last very long, because they don't understand how to protect themselves from liability. They thought this was going to be super easy. They buy a property, put a renter in there 10 years. The rent goes up every year. That's anybody can attest that owns rental property. It is the complete opposite. You constantly have to babysit people. You have to manage them. You have to deal with check-ins, check-outs, damage with property. You have to deal with evictions. You have to deal with lawsuits. And if you've owned property long enough, that's eventually what happens with every investment property. You have to run it like a business for that to want to do it. So what I want to do right now is share one more with you, and then we're going to take some questions and jump on it. Let me show you a little technique. I haven't shared this with like a lot of people, and I'm not hesitant to share with you because I teach everybody in it, and we're working on some stuff. I like quick claim deeds. Why do I like quick claim deeds? Simple. There's an opportunity. I have found out a long time ago, that by doing quick claim deeds, I can find anything. Most of the properties we deal with wholesaling, whenever there's a quick claim deed, it doesn't go through title underwriting. And so anything has a quick claim deed, they got to go back and reassert the title. They got to investigate it. So if I grant, say I was a business partner with someone, and say me and Zach own a property together, and I decided, say me and Zach had a falling out. I go, Zach, I don't want anything to do with this property. Can you cash me out? And Zach goes, okay, I'll give you 10 grand, and then just going to quick claim the deed. And basically he's the grantor is releasing it and changing the title to Zach instead of just Rick and Zach. And they feel like they got it done. Now, sometimes they do it with a title company, but odds are a lot of people go down to the courthouse and do this. And when you go to sell the property, to find out, they have to warranty that quick claim deed, and they have to verify and authenticate it. I've seen quick claim deeds done 10, 20 years ago, people like getting a divorce, stuff like that. It should be called quick, Q-U-I-C-K, because that's the real name to it. But it's quick, Q-U-I-T. And most of the properties I deal with in wholesaling, I'm getting a little hint here, they have anything that has a quick claim is usually problematic. So if you can go down to your courthouse and search for quick claims, or you have the ability to do it online say you're doing virtual wholesaling, especially nationally, God, you give me every quick claim deed across the country, I'll keep you busy for a year. They are phenomenal. They are an indication. A long time ago, people used to tell you the unknown equity filter. I got over 10 years of data on that. The unknown equity filter is a complete lie to you. It does not increase your wholesale deals. It just increases your expenses in marketing. Unknown means they're missing records at the courthouse so they can't identify. There is no way you can assume motivation on just unknown. As opposed to a quick claim deed, listen to me. People do quick claim deeds out of an emotional knee-jerk reaction, either a pseudo divorce, a pseudo separation from a business partner. If you can ID properties with quick claim, which is usually QT or QTC, depending on what county you're in, guys, they're phenomenal. Like, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. It's that good. I've been doing it a long time. I used to hang my hat on the unknown filter. I never got more business from it. And it would usually increase your leads from 3 to 5%. And over 10 years, I never got one additional deal from it. I looked hard. Not one property came up unknown. Very, very rarely. And gurus made it sound like it was this magic potion. So the only way you can prove if something works is with data. That's why I like to work with X leads, because I can verify where all my leads come from. I have a database. I keep notes, and we can identify where any lead came from. And if I'm going to use the quick claim, then research it. Guys, I'm giving you a freebie. It doesn't cost you a dime. I promise you, someone's going to sell this information to you. It's just a matter of time. I got 23 years experience. I know it works. So I'm going to take that one off the screen. I'm going to do the last 2 questions here. People always ask me, hey, Rick, do I need a transaction coordinator to do wholesaling virtually on a national basis? And here's the answer. You don't. Listen, most of you are just trying to get your first deal. Stop worrying about a transaction coordinator. I was my own transaction coordinator for 7 years. Now, did I like it? No, I was terrible at it, but I was making plenty of money. It wasn't an issue. I just didn't know how to hire someone to do it. Now, everywhere I turn, there's a transaction coordinator. And now I hear all the rules of what they won't do. We don't talk to the seller. We don't talk to the buyer. We don't renegotiate deals. We do not negotiate liens down. They're getting to the point where it's getting, guys, here's your transaction coordinator. Number one, it's you. You always communicate with your seller and buyer. Don't trust a third party to handle any of that, especially if you're new. Number 2, your title company. A transaction coordinator is not a replacement for a title company. They have to use a title company. Here's one of the challenges. A lot of these people are trying to do these pseudo title companies. So number 1, so they can make more money, hopefully provide more service. I don't know, because I have my own transaction coordinator. I do enough business. We have them in-house. We've trained them. She's been with me forever. But if you're new to this business and you're doing virtual wholesaling, in the beginning, you don't need a transaction coordinator. You don't have enough deals. Oh, but I was told I could do it. So really, so the average transaction coordinator, if you parlay it, you're going to pay between $1,000 to $2,500 for them. And they're probably worth it. I'm not even knocking it. But your transaction is not as complicated as you think. And number 2, you're still going to have to pay all the title company fees on top of it, probably another $1,000 to $1,200. So I'm asking you, in the beginning, a transaction coordinating is you communicating to your seller and buyer and you working with your title company. At least get through 5 deals before you even consider hiring someone to do that. You all think like that's the norm now. Like if I could do it 7 years by myself with my title company, why do you think you need a transaction coordinator? I want you to get so busy if you want to hire a transaction coordinator and you figure it out, then that's fine. Remember, you got to walk a mile in someone's shoes before you hire them to tell them what to do. So if you're going to, I've had people come through me and Zach's programs and go, I have a transaction coordinator. I just left them $500. I'm like, for what? You're going to do all the work anyways. You need to learn to be hands-on and figure it out. And then once you're making X amount of money, you can do it. A lot of these transaction coordinators, I don't know, they're catering to like novations and stuff. We don't teach that. And honestly, novations they're so time consuming. There's so many moving parts. There's so many legal things. You're going to have to pay a transaction coordinator even more because most of them don't even know how to navigate through that. And the problem is, I'd rather you just wholesale and make money today. Transaction coordinating, very clear. Do your own, at least through your first 5. And then remember, work with your title company and communicate. And you always control communications from your seller to your buyer. Don't ever forget that. And last but not least, how do I handle this all virtually? This is why me and Zach created X Leads. I can do my comping. I do my CRM. I do all my follow-up in the ninja mode through Go High Level. I do all my skip tracing through what? X Leads. Oh, by the way, when you want to do all your comping, you can do it in there. Oh, I need to find an owner of a property. I just put it inside X Leads. It spits the number in the email out. Oh, I can send out 30,000 emails? Yes, with X Leads. Why? Because the skip tracing's included. If you guys are paying for skip tracing, please go over to X Leads right now and get your 7-day free trial. I'll give you 1,000 free skip traces on me. That's how much I believe in you. I have nothing to sell you. If X Leads is going to help you out, great. If not, go to freewholesaling.com. Let's get you off the JV team, get you to work, get you to the journey of wholesaling, and get you to the varsity wholesalers. How do you do that? Get 5 deals done.